Okay, so we're back again. The second part of the cheat code for music. This is going to be focused on the drum. This is the final of the series. It's only a two-part thing. But what I tried to do is just try to come with something real quick so that I could show you the drums in the context of a beat, an actual song, um, and try to explain it through that rather than just talking like I did in the last video. Just kind of more interaction with sounds and music. So I'm gonna give you a preview of what I did of the beat, and we'll go from there. Okay, so just starting this off, some things are going to overlap from the previous video only because some of the same things still apply. Like the whole thing about staying organized and being organized, and just keeping it simple. That will always be the first part of the cheat code for anything, whether you're doing a beat or the melody or an entire song or you're mixing vocals, whatever. Um, Stay organized and keep things simple. To me, the drums are like the glue of the beat of the song. The drums allow you to use your
imagination.
the drums are like the first thing that I mix in the final mix of a song. They're the first things that I get started on. As a matter of fact, I even mix the drums when I'm mixing vocals. The drums need to stand out um, inside of the vocal, or with the vocal, I should say.
Message.
When it comes to effects, effects are very important. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I use. And I say a little bit only because whatever I hear in the context of whatever I'm making at the time, uh, then, I just kind of go according to whatever I hear at the time. So I'm going to actually just take off all the melody part and just use just the drum part, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so what I'm hoping you hear in this is that the drums are kind of moving all over the place. They're panning, and it adds a lot of movement, a lot of bounce when you use the right effects. I'm gonna try to go inside of all of these different sounds so you can hear what I use. Okay, so the inside of my template, when I open up my 808, you'll see the screen 4, the saucy distortion, or the camel crush. Depending on what I'm making, I can use any one of these or a combination of two of them. I mean, you just kind of add a subtle distortion from one and then a little bit more from another, and it gives you a whole different feel. Okay, so inside of my kick, just my regular kick, most times I like using the rack kick. And the rack kick just has a real nice, smooth sound. I mean, I'll switch it up every now and then depending on what I'm doing, but the rack kick just is smooth. It just fits everything. I don't care what I put it with, it just kind of like blends perfectly. But inside of my rack kick combinator, you'll see I use a pulverizer. Sometimes I use saucy distortion. But mainly the pulverizer is what I use to bring that out, and you're seeing exactly what I do as far as my settings. So next here, we're looking at my open hat. I'm using what I call a 808 Mafia hat. I don't even know where I got this from. I think it was from some type of free kit. I want to say like an appreciation kit from Sound Majors. Dope drum sounds, by the way. Holler at him and purchase some of his stuff because dude gives away a lot of free stuff. But he has some dope drum kits. If you are just getting started, or if you just don't even know about them, Sound Majors, check him out. So long story short, all I did with this is I just used the Haas effect, and I tell everybody who will listen to me that this effect will change your life for real. This effect is really, really dope. It just kind of it brings it brings stuff out a whole lot better, way better than just letting it just sit there and just adding a little reverb or messing with the EQ. This does something to it, like it just delays inside of a stereo field. It just delays one side of that stereo field like a millisecond or however long you got it set for, and it's magic like every time. So okay, now we're up to my hi-hats, and the hi-hats, I inside of my template, basically you'll see this every single time. There is one more thing that I've been messing with lately. Let me bring that up if I can remember what it is. Fine bodies, boom. Aside from this here, which is basically like a transient shaper, it's free too, by the way. Holler at this dope little situation. Um, you can mess with the highs or the lows or the highs. Mess with the input, CV, output, floor noise. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, but it helps bring things out. Like if you want to bring out um, the highs in something or the lows in something and control it a little bit more, this is a free alternative to do so, and it's pretty dope. But inside of my template, you're looking at uh, everything that I put onto the hi hat whenever I drop something. I don't use all of these together all the time, but I have them in my template, and I use all of these things at some point. I just recently found out too through a subscriber. His name is Macho. He go by Macho. That down here in the in NXT, if you go down to this part right here and change where it says, it's going to say key when you initially start the device, but if you go down to jump and then mess with the spread a little bit, man, it does its own panning. And good looking out, Macho, for that, because I've been messing with Reason since like Reason 3 point whatever, and never knew that. Never knew that. Another thing I want to point out about the beat is that you can hear, since we're on the hi-hat, I'm gonna just take everything off, okay? And then I'm gonna just set it so that you can listen just to the hi-hat, and then put back on what I had on, which would be the pancake, the Haas, and the reverb. And I'm doing this to make a point to say that you want your sounds, whether it be a sound from your drums or your melody, you want things to kind of move all over the place. And so this will be a good example. So you hear it, it's all right, but it ain't quite there. So I'm gonna just add each thing the reverb, that's the highs, and now this is the pancake. Use headphones for this too. It just changes it. Then in the context of the beat, it changes it again. Okay, so next up would be my snare. And all I did with that is the highs, and then down here, the panning that I spoke about earlier. I just did that inside the NNXT. Okay, now up top here, for my clap, I think it's a clap. I don't know if I used a rim. Yeah, it's a clap. I used the gate from the channel dynamics from the actual mixer, the SSL mixer, the new little thing that they gave us in Reason. And you see my reverb. I do light reverb. Just depends on the song. And this one I just did light reverb. Okay, and there's a host of other things that you can use in regards to your drums now inside of Reason 11, especially if you have a suite. I mean, you have beat map, you have the you have the Kong, the rhythmic drum machine, and also you can utilize the drum sequencer. I just basically went through all my effects because I want to be as transparent as I can to show you as much as I can. So the video was a little lengthy because I'm just trying to show you my process and once again be as transparent as I can. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the MIDI for the melody and also the 808. Basically, what I do is I just follow the low notes on the melody, and it can vary. In this case, it could vary a lot if I wanted it to, but I try to keep it as simple as possible. What we spoke about earlier, just keep it basic and simple. You don't have to go all crazy. Sometimes it's cool to do, but you don't really have to. Almost every time that I do a snare or a rim, I just basically go there, put it on the 9, right click on the mouse, copy pattern the track, and I'm done. Like I'm not doing a lot with that. I try to do things quick and easy. Okay, as far as hi-hats, to me this is one of the funnest parts of making trap is the hi-hats. It's just playing with the hi-hats and just kind of experimenting and doing different things. Basically, I keep it simple, but I just try to add as much bounce as I can. One of the things that I haven't touched on, but it applies to the first cheat code video and this one. One of the main things that you have to focus on is sound selection. That's like key. And I don't care how long it takes you to find those sounds to mix. That's key. You have to kind of be real selective when you pick sounds. You just don't pick any old sound. You think about it and you think about how it will blend with what you're doing. The final thing I'd like to add is that as producers, whether what we're making is fire or if it's garbage, you start off tabla rasa, which means blank slate. So there's nothing there. And by the time that we get done, you can hit play and you're proud of what you did no matter what. Like I said, it can be garbage, but you did something. Once again, hope this helped. Thanks for watching.